Award. And so this feels like a full circle meetup. So I'm so glad that you guys are able to be here. Tell us where you're tuning in from.
We're tuning in from the Castro showroom.
Amazing. And I'm here at the David Sutherland, and you can see the perennials wall behind me. This is like one of my happy places. My other happy place is where you're at, but this is definitely one of my happy places. So I'm super excited to be here. So congratulations on 20 years of partnership as directors of your firm and as a couple. So tell us a little bit about what it's like to work together and how did you guys meet?
Well, we met at a firm that I had been working at, and we got partnered. I was actually hired to be his design assistant, and I had been working with that company for a really long time. And the principal of the company had the vision to put us together. He thought that we complemented each other's strengths and weaknesses. Little did he know
how good a match he made.
So we're forever grateful for having the vision of putting us together, because it literally changed our lives forever.
Yeah, and it didn't start like that. We were both married to other people, and we worked together. We quickly became best friends, and Giselle quickly became my partner when I saw how talented she was and energetic and devoted. I mean, it just couldn't be any other way. Actually, I think you gave me an ultimatum.
Of course I gave him an ultimatum. First of all, I'm a Latin woman, a hard-working Latin woman, and he was saying, like, the guys take it easy, and I was like, right. No, I'm working my butt off. I want to be a partner. So it was not one of those things that was like given to me or anything like that. I had been working in the field since I was 21. And I worked learning how to do coordination, project management, purchase orders, invoices. So by the time I started working with Brett, I had a lot of experience, but I was still in my 20s. I started working with him when I was 26, and I'm 46 now. So during that time, I was like
26.
Thank you. So what I want to share is, like, sometimes you do have to, especially being a woman, say, hey, this is what I deserve. This is the position I deserve, even though, obviously he's my husband and he loves me and everything. But at that time, it wasn't like that. So I think you have to fight for what you want.
Yeah, but she deserved it. I mean, I've never met a harder working person, forget woman, person, anywhere.
I love that. You guys give me hope. So one of my things that in this industry, so I actually have a very similar experience as you, Giselle, where I started when I was 20 in my first semester of design school. I started working in the field. So I totally understand what you're talking about. Just because you're young, people underestimate you. They don't want to give you a chance. And then then there's a firm that does give you a chance, and you catapult into your talent. And that's really, again, same shared experience, which is how I find myself here at, being the director of design for the Design Center of the Americas. So thank you so much for sharing that. And
just a little question. That only brought this part of the ways. So we worked together at that firm for about 6 years. And then it became apparent to us that it was time for us to move on and do our own thing. And at that point, we were a young couple, and we decided to branch out and open our own business, B&G Design. We just celebrated, we're about to do 17 years, right?
2007, right?
No, 2006.
Six, okay.
So yeah, so I guess, 15 years. So we're about to do celebrate 15 years of B&G Design. And we've been lucky, that we built a really beautiful base of loyal clients that we're still working with to this day. I mean, we're on our 11th project for one client, 6th for another, 5th for another. So what we like to call our legacy clients, in the foundation of our business and our lives, and they become very close friends. And, here we are today.
I love that. And I actually got to speak to a few of your clients, and you're right. I mean, first of all, your clients love you.
We love them too.
Yeah, I loved having these conversations with them. I think I had a list of, I want to say less than 10, and I got to speak to a handful, and it was one after the other. They were so thankful to work with you guys, just for your process, how you work, and then of course the end result. So that was really wonderful, because we still, to this day, haven't actually met in person. We're going to change that after the conversation, but it was really great to be in partnership with people who are regarded so highly by their clients. So I'm very excited about our partnership through the Preferred Designers program here at DCOTA. And just to go into a little bit, so basically the Preferred Designers program is a program that I came up with, that I wrote and implemented when I first started here. And it's kind of like a matchmaking service for design, if you will. So it's, any end user, and if you're watching and you're looking to get matched with an interior designer, or vice versa, if you're an interior designer that wants to get matched with qualified clients, you can contact us through designservices@dcota.com and get more information on how to be interviewed and selected for a Preferred Designers program. So, and congratulations on, so you guys are our first partnership of 2021. And I'm super, super excited to see how that flourishes into, a mutually beneficial relationship between us.
Yeah,
Thanks, we are too.
So tell me about some favorite areas of the home to design when you're working with couples. I know that working with couples can be challenging. And but what are some of the areas of the home that I think, that you think are like challenging to design, but rewarding when you're working with them and you finally overcome the hurdle, whatever the hurdle is?
Well, part of, I think, as designers, we are therapists, we're psychiatrists, psychologists. Well, I haven't handed out pills yet, but maybe they'll be in our next office. But our whole thing is that, we need to listen to both the husband, the wife's needs, the family needs, how they entertain. Our job is to ask the right question and also to protect them, each of them, because sometimes they might have, oh, I really want this, or I really want that. And maybe one person gets shorted. And I think the reason why clients continue to come with us, project after project, is because it's so much more than interior design. It's, finding out where, that favorite spot is, or what that potential favorite spot could be for the wife, or potential favorite spot could be for the husband. Sometimes the husband loves to cook more than the wife, or vice versa. We have clients where the husband's, the closet is almost more important than the wives are. So, those
The closet's more important than the wife?
Well, meaning, you know what I mean? Like,
Sometimes.
normally
In the
you,
wife's closet.
yeah, then the wife's closet, you automatically think that the wife is gonna prioritize the closet more than the husband. So what's interesting is you can never assume, it's important to ask the right questions. And, the male's office could be an important spot. I always ask women, where do they like to do their makeup? Try to provide them a comfortable, place for them to have their little ritual of putting on their makeup, because you know how we are, we will grab a phone call, it's not just that, or somebody likes to have a cocktail while they're getting ready, and it becomes their little ritual, while so we like to create those moments. So in the home, many moments, so it's not just one little moment, it's that special corner, or that seat overlooking, the woods in Washington, DC. So it could be so many different things.
Yeah, I think in each project, based on the client profile, a different space becomes like our favorite space. It's kind of like, what have you done for me lately kind of thing. I mean, we always have loved kitchens and bathrooms. There's so much fun to design, and have to be so highly functional, and especially kitchens over the last number of years have been, so out front and center with open plan concepts and the way people live. I mean, let's face it, you can have a 10,000 square foot house, but everyone's going to hang out around the kitchen island no matter what.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It doesn't matter how large or how small, but we really, have a lot of fun designing the spaces that we feel our clients need.
Like, we're big advocates of home theaters. Even if it's a tiny little space, it's something we did for our home. We needed like a multifunctional space because we didn't want to add square footage to our house. So we converted the garage into a guest bedroom home theater, and we enjoyed it so much. By the way, he fought me all the way about closing in the garage and having the cars out in the sun. But it became his favorite spot. It's where he records his music. It's where the kids have had amazing parties. So in one of our latest projects we had like this awkward upstairs hall where we closed in and, did kind of a signature thing that we're doing lately, which is to have home theater seats. And then we created, like with 2 queen mattresses, we upholstered them in outdoor fabric, which is like behind you, like in perennials.
Yes.
And it's a place where the kids can hang out. They don't have to worry about it. If they have a sleepover, they could sleep there. But it's such an enjoyable space, especially now, because of COVID, not having a place. Home theaters are so important. People are still, I think, reluctant to go to the movie theater. So I think those spaces are. And when we are able to literally tell them, hey, look what it's done for us, or how much we've enjoyed.
Exactly.
I think that what I've noticed is that personal experience of being a couple and living in our own space and being able to share with people, hey, you know what? I don't like hearing him go to the bathroom. Let's make sure we have separate commode areas. I keep it real.
Real life.
But listen, people always ask, how do you keep the love alive? I don't want to hear him going to the bathroom. That's one of the biggest things.
Keep the mystery alive, for sure.
Yeah, and that's a way that I always tell clients, like, I try to do it in a respectful way, but separate commode areas I think are really important when, we can achieve that. Things like that, that it's so personal because we live through that.
Yeah, our design is really driven by lifestyle. We like to say that even though we're interior designers, we're really designing people's lifestyles and the way they're going to experience their everyday life in their home, more so than ever with COVID. And we try to think about, form, function, utility, comfort, all those things.
Entertaining, outdoor entertaining, it's such
I love that. Did I lose you guys?
No, we're here.
Okay. You gotta love technology. And that's the thing too, like with COVID, I think we're getting more used to doing these digital conversations. What has been one of the things that you've implemented in your business as far as maybe new technology, or what has COVID done for your business as far as shifting it to, I hate to repeat it, but navigating the new normal is, through this pandemic and through.
Yeah, I mean, becoming even more paperless than we ever were before. We really made a commitment to just streamline the process. I think in general, and it's so common with a lot of businesses, not only working from home, but learning, how you can really streamline the way you operate, and that you don't need a lot of this extra process in order to make your business run. So it really helped us focus in on that. And, that's something we also bring to our clients when we're designing, because we, do homes and other commercial spaces as well as home offices.
Also, I think, we're in the middle of a move we closed our offices in Fort Lauderdale, and we've been working from home, and we're going to be opening up offices in Miami. And one of the things that after cleaning out, how long were we in that office in Fort Lauderdale?
For like 12 years.
Oh my God. After cleaning that office of samples, binders, files, I mean, it was pretty insane. You realize how much waste there is. And we all want to be eco-friendly. We all want to do things the right way. So that's one of the things, that we've really think it's important as we move forward to implement not only in our office, so we could also share with the clients too, how to be paperless, how to,
exactly
obtain that as well, because we love things beautifully designed, but also organized. You want to open up those drawers and everything is nice and neat. So it's a good way to live by example.
We've also gotten much more comfortable with these kinds of conversations, Zoom calls and FaceTime and whatnot with our clients. Even we made some presentations that way. And typically, do what we call our dog and pony show when we're revealing our design concept to clients, where they can touch and feel and see all the materials and finishes and fabrics, and we can be in their presence. But since, COVID made that not a reality for so long, we've become a lot more comfortable with this kind of communication, which really is just a lot more efficient time-wise. Yeah. And it allows us to be able to handle more and deliver faster.
That's amazing. I feel like 2020 either made or broke a lot of businesses, not just interior design businesses, but being able to pivot and understand that, hey, there are ways that we can continue our business. Just like what you said, you guys, like, mailing the samples and then getting on a phone call, or FaceTime. It's actually one of the things that I've had to do also. I never stopped coming to the office. And so it was that, thank God we live in a time where technology can facilitate otherwise than hinder. our businesses and actually help us expand and grow and keep it going. So that's amazing. And you guys mentioned something about conscious living and also, really loving to design kitchens and baths. So I wanted to ask you guys, how have you implemented the idea of conscious living? What does that mean to you guys in those areas that you're designing the most often? So like Giselle said, maybe the movie theaters that you're doing in your home, or the or the kitchens and baths that you like to design, or like the nooks for the clients.
That's the most important thing, life-changing, intelligent toilets. I mean, talk about being friendly. They use a little more water, but a lot less paper, but that's really a life changer. And I'm joking.
Nice.
I'm joking. They're great.
Yeah.
And in terms of, conscious living, I assume you mean, talking about being eco-conscious and sensitive to the environment. I mean, we've installed also alkaline water system in our home, and which is not only really beneficial to your health, but keeps us from buying lots of plastic bottles and prepackaged water, which we pretty much don't do it at all anymore. Things of that nature. And a lot of our clients, we just did another project where clients got this drink pod machine, which makes filtered cold and filtered hot water, so that instead of buying all this packaged stuff.
Even like decantering, when you're organizing your kitchen and you're having all these containers and decantering things, when you buy products, in bulk and you decanter them, it ends up being more eco-friendly because you're not having all that, usually it's done in like plastic and it's not taking up all that room. So I think that's a good way of doing it. I'm extremely sensitive pretty much to everything. And so that's really helped me to educate our clients too, whether it's about the air quality or lighting or fabrics, all those things I'm extremely sensitive to. So like we have an air filtration system in our house that helps, filter the air. I can't have any area rugs because of, because of the dust and dog hair and all of that. So all those, because of experiencing that and having to overcome my health issues, I'm able to then really educate our clients of different ways that we've implemented that in our lives and in our children's life, because they have they fought with eczema and health issues. So when I hear a client say that their kids or they have really bad allergies, I'm able to, from my personal experience, share ways for them to literally live healthier in their home.
That's really amazing. And being able to actually give that experience of living in your own design. I can only imagine how invaluable that is for your clients to be able to get a firsthand testimony of how something works. How has that over the years impacted your business, really, your ability to move forward with the project?
Well, it's funny you're saying that, because we came up with a series that we just started. We just released our second episode, which is called B&G Unfiltered. And the reason we wanted to do that was because we wanted to show really what we go through, our personal experience. We're starting off with the first one was about our home, showing how we lived in it in 9 years, how our kids grew up in it, what we did, what worked, showing our garage conversion, showing our obstacles. And we're getting ready to move out of that house and move into Miami, being empty nesters. So what we wanted to do was show the whole evolution of our process, how we're, the challenges that we encounter through storage, through space, going from a house to a condo, showing our personal experience and how we are coming up with solutions for all of that. And I think also there's a lot of psychology that comes to, with that, when you're a young mom and have young kids and you're a working mom and a working when you're getting ready to be an empty nester. So our house was very light and bright, and our kitchen was in the middle of our house. We designed it that way and it was very light and bright because I needed it to feel like a safe haven, very like a cloud. We nicknamed it Cloud 9 because, with all the chaos visually, it needed to not have too much noise. So all those experiences we want to share with our audience and with our clients, that went through the different process and the different stages of the kids being little, growing up in the spaces, and how now we're getting ready to, move into our new space and showing each and every, room and how we've overcome every challenge and how absolutely different it is than our house, because our house is like, it's on the water. This is city living, and we wanted it to be sleek and sexy and just very different. So I'm really excited for you guys to see, how different it is and how, we evolved through all these years.
I love that. And I love being able to have clients actually see the process. One of the things that I always get is, whenever someone comes up to me and says, I saw XYZ on HGTV, I'm just like cringe.
Me too.
I'm like, you didn't see reality. So, to be able to see like what really happens behind the scenes, how long things take to plan, the mishaps along the way. And, you waited 8 months for this beautiful slab, to come from Italy, and then it cracks. It just, like real life, like real life.
Which we had that. And of course it had to be like my makeup vanity.
Oh my God.
I was like, no, why the makeup vanity? It cracked. And I'm like, you're kidding me. And we've been joking around, like, this is really gives us the firsthand experience of what our clients go through, which gives us becomes more sensitive to what they're going through. So I think it's been such a good thing also for us to remind us, to be sensitive to our clients as well, because we're living through it. But it's been definitely interesting.
That's so funny. Well, I'm so happy. I'm really excited to see it. How can our viewers tune into Unfiltered?
So it's on our B&G Instagram, on IGTV, and it's also on YouTube.
Awesome. And can you share any favorite moments of the show, or maybe some bloopers?
Well, we have a lot of bloopers, because usually, first of all, like we tend to talk over each other because we both have a lot to say. But also, we're kind of, the way that we've kept it together for all these years is you have to have a good sense of humor. So we really do. We laugh at each other and
make fun of each other.
You got to keep it light.
At each other, with each other.
Both. I have no problem laughing at myself. I mean, seriously, but more at him.
But the best moment so far actually was a very poignant moment. We were talking about our home. Giselle was kind of relating how we designed our current home that we're moving out of for the kids, and how now we're going to be empty nesters. And she actually started to break down and cry, which we kept in. And I think people really related to how real that was.
Yeah, I've gotten so many phone calls, text messages. They're like, oh my God. What I was sharing with the audience was, and it was just very candid, and, it wasn't scripted or anything like that, what this home meant to us, to me, and then like, I just had all these flashbacks, like I still get emotional about it, of the kids being little and homework and crew and hurrying up and cooking for them, because I'm a Latin mom, so I got to feed them. If I don't feed them, it's like, I'm not being a good mom. So all this came through my mind, and, everything we do is so personal and with love. Like, how people say keep business and your personal life separate. For us, it's not like that. We totally break all the rules when it comes to that. Both as a couple, and even with our clients, and even with our traits and people, we are very family. Everybody becomes kind of like our inner circle family. And that, anyways, going back to that house, when I was expressing that, what that house meant to us and what it means to us, it's so much more than furniture or something pretty. It's years of memories that we built. And, when we're doing these projects, whether it's for ourselves or for our clients, we're building people's dreams, including our own. And we're building so much more, everything is like, it's a moment, and it's done with so much thought and with so much care and passion. Absolutely. So it was really amazing to get the feedback, mostly from, from women telling me, either I'm going through that right now, trying to create that kind of environment for my family, or they're in the situation like we are, that are empty nesters, and they could totally relate to that feeling and that emotion. So what that really taught me is, I'm such a Virgo, and normally I like to be really perfect and really put together. And from the whole episode, we showed our whole house. The one thing that people came to, that talked to me about or mentioned to you was that moment. So as we continue to go on, we know the importance about keeping it real, and really being unfiltered. I think people can really relate to that.
Absolutely. And I love that. Like, I guess you guys can relate as well. The last 20 years of design, I think when I first got into the industry, it was very like stuffy, like designers were very like far off on a pedestal. Yeah, untouchable. And so I love seeing other designers really keeping it real. We're humans like everybody else.
Yep.
Our closets are messy, don't open drawers.
Not his, mine sometimes.
So it's one of those things where it's like, life comes at you fast, and keeping it real, I think is like the biggest favor we can do to each other, for each other, is just, giving each other grace, like what you were saying earlier, is just like, we're not perfect. We want to be, but we want our interiors to be as close to perfection as possible, whatever that means for that client or for ourselves as designers. But giving ourselves grace to be human and be in our feelings, I think is really refreshing. So thank you for allowing us into your heart and into your space, and allowing us to see that about you guys. So and so we can watch it on your IGTV on your Instagram.
Yeah, we have 2 episodes out currently, and we're in production on the 3rd, which will be out in probably the end of May, beginning of June.
Yeah, the end of May, but I'm like super excited because, we've been very secretive about not revealing the design, because I want people to really be surprised, because the before and afters are amazing. I mean, pretty amazing. Literally, I'm really excited. And we did things that normally don't do for clients, because we took huge risks. We did things that are different, that, that's the beauty about designing for each other. We can take those risks. When you're with a client, you're more careful because you want to make sure that they're happy. We took some ballsy risks with this contest. So I can't wait for you guys to see it. And we made some changes along the way too. There was times that I would walk in the space and I'm like, I don't think we're gonna do that. And he's like, okay, thank God he's been fantastic about me changing my mind.
We share the same vision, and I just wanted to be happy.
Well said. Happy wife, happy life, right?
That's right.
Good news is whatever makes you happy.
Mama's happy, everyone's happy.
That's right.
Well, I'm super excited to see, and I'm super excited to see the boldness of your new space. Did you guys go like complete opposite of what your home was?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, like complete opposite. So initially we weren't gonna record our house, and the company that does the production company came, happened to come by our house, and they're like, oh, no, we need to start with your house, because we got to show where you came from. And I'm like, you're absolutely right, which was genius, because really it shows, being a family with 2 boys and a dog, and having that kind of family life to now the city life. It's very different. And I'm excited for you guys to see what we've done and the risks we've taken.
I love that, to be able to watch not just like a design evolution, but also the evolution of you guys from one phase of life to another. I think that's like really beautiful. And again, keeping it real, keeping it unfiltered. So
and we're breaking it down. So the next episode will be all about our kitchen. So we have Carlos from Snidero coming in and talking, about the kitchens, because we want to also invite the experts to join us and share, the creation as well. So we're going to be breaking it down into little segments. So it's so viewers can really see what we did and how we maximize space and some of the creative ideas they can implement themselves.
I love that. And actually, speaking of maximizing space, what are some tips that you can share with us right now as far as like maximizing any space, or specifically like your kitchen or bath?
Part of that is first understanding what scale means. You know, a lot of people don't understand it. You know, we always talk about when clients walk into a space that's unfurnished, you know, they're always wondering, is everything going to fit in here? And we always tell them, you know, it always looks bigger with furniture in it, which is kind of counterintuitive. But I think we'll try to estimate scale, and lay people that aren't used to dealing with that all the time, like we are, don't really understand, you know, what that means. So I think, you know, we always try to squeeze out every last bit of storage in everything we do, kitchens, bathrooms, living rooms. And that's something we show in our house, because we, you know, we're concerned about going from a, you know, 3,000 square foot house to a 2,000 square foot apartment. And we're collectors, and we've got, you know, doubles of everything and triples of everything. And we don't want to get rid of all that stuff. So what do we do with it? So,
and I love to cook. So my kitchen has to like be functional, and we love to entertain and the whole thing. So my way of showing love to my guests is cooking and entertaining and putting things out. So it was a,
I'm like, it must be a Latin thing, because I'm like, I love cooking.
Totally. Like, isn't that the way we grew up? It's like you come in,
Right,
you drink. That's the thing you do. It's like, it's the way you show love. That's my way of doing it as well. So it was really important, not only that it was functional, but it looked beautiful, and more important, that things were concealed. The Virgo in me went a little crazy that I wanted everything to be concealed. So how do you do that and still create the function? And that's part of where you guys are gonna have to tune in to see how we did it.
right. So going back to the idea of scale, it's realizing, you know, how much space you really need to live, and clearances and whatnot. One of the things that you'll see in our own apartment, we were concerned about a shortage of closet space for the master closet. And we were able to incorporate into our bedroom as a design feature. And by just moving, you know, the placement of things around a little bit, we're able to create just, you know, enough space to have, you know, 20 lineal feet of additional closet that we didn't have. And it doesn't look like closet, you know, it feels like part of the design. We also went vertical, because we've got, you know, 20-foot high ceilings in our space. It's like a kind of a loft setup almost. And we used a lot of that vertical space to make accessible storage that was integrated into the design and didn't take away from the aesthetics.
And one of the favorite things that we implemented into the condo that we did in the house, but in a different kind of version, was the whole, you know, taking 2 queen mattresses, making it into a movie theater guest bedroom. So now when you guys tune in, you'll be able to see this version, which I actually love so much more than the one in our house, because it's like, you know, the 12X, whatever the next upgrade of our
2.0.
the 2.0 of our lovely, like, multi-functional space.
And we integrated storage into that as well too.
So we're gonna show people, like, literally by room how we did that, you know, the process, the plans, the before. So it really kind of showcases, you know, what we really do as luxury interior designers versus what other, you know, so-called decorators do.
I was gonna say, I'm like, well, and actually that's a great way of putting it. You know, there are decorators and then there's interior designers, and there's a clear difference in between both. Not necessarily a bad thing, but there's a clear difference in between what decorators can do and what interior designers will do for a client. So I'm glad that you mentioned that.
No, it's good. And it's you guys are going to be able to see the difference from the lighting plan to the floor plan to the use of space. The apartment lives so much bigger than what it really is. And there's our friend has an apartment, the same apartment that she lives in it as well. So it's cool to see the difference of what we've implemented to, you know, one that doesn't have all the storage and all the functionality. So it's kind of cool to see the difference.
I feel like maybe she's gonna be a next client or something.
Well, she's an interior designer as well, so she'll come up with, I know she's gonna come up with her own cool version of that, which will be so neat to see, you know, ours and hers, you know.
A different vision for
Yeah,
the same space. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that. And as you were planning for this new space and you know, this new condo, what are some of the maybe design trends or tendencies or just favorite things that you were able to implement as far as maybe materials? I'm not going to ask for color palette because I'm guessing that's going to be a surprise. But as far as materials or something that maybe you haven't gotten to use that you were able to use, anything cool that you can share?
One of the things that we did that you'll see is that, you know, we're modernists. We love modern design and we love the clean lines and what we call, you know, a very architectural look. And we did that here, but we created a really nice blend with some classical elements, which is something that we've been wanting to do for clients that we haven't quite done anything like this before. And I think that really actually made all the difference. Everyone who's seen it so far, like, wow, that
did
changed everything.
And I pushed for it, you know, it was one of those things that I'm like, I really think it's going to ground the space. You know, we love to travel and we've traveled to Europe and we love, you know, that whole city look. So we really wanted to infuse, you know, that, some of those elements and make it feel very architectural. Also part of my thing is that I'm always moving things around. So I like my accessories, or if I travel, I could be going through a phase of one thing or the other. I need to have kind of a neutral color palette, and that doesn't mean white, by the way.
Always.
But I needed to have a good basis. So when I want to change things up, because I do that all the time, I would be able to have that kind of background that would support my change of moods.
Right.
Like a great canvas.
Yeah.
And one little sneak peek, and it's a really good tip, becoming popular, is, you know, the apartment had, you know, porcelain floors, actually upstairs and downstairs. And for a couple of reasons, we didn't want to go through the process of removing them. We really wanted wood flooring, but we ended up using LVT, you know, so we used a wood look LVT that you can't tell. So we were able to, you know, it's a block system. It went right over the porcelain tile. And, you know, it's becoming increasingly popular now, but, you know, there's some that look kind of cheapy and there's some that look really authentic. This one, unfortunately, looks really authentic and has beautiful grain to it. So that's kind of a newer thing that we implemented, and, you know, used a lot of porcelain surfaces. We natural stone as well, but and porcelain, and we're always big lovers of natural wood. We love the kind of vibrance, the, you know, just warmth that you get from that. Kind of a hallmark of what our design in general is use of wood and making that work in a very clean architectural sense.
Part of what we like to do is like identify what's going to be the new classic. So we, you know, we have the benefit of living with a lot of Brett's mom, who was an interior designer, you know, sculptures and chairs, and I love it because I realize those really stand the test of time. So when we're designing for a client or for ourselves, we're trying to identify value, you know, so we're not one of those people that believe in trends. You know, some people do are doing the pink thing and the peach thing. I love it. I love seeing it, but it's not something that if I'm going to be spending millions of dollars in a client's project, I don't want to do something trendy like that, because usually, you know, from our experience, they're living in that space 10, 15 years before they move to another. And you don't want it to feel like, oh my God, that was so 2020. You know what I mean? You want it to feel like it's timeless. And to us, I think that's why the clients keep coming back, because it's perceived value. So it's not who we are anyways. I mean, most of the time we're like in neutral colors anyways. We're not like big pink or peach people. So it's not who we are. I mean, we love it. Like I said, I love to see it. But again, it's like, I think we have a responsibility to ourselves and to our clients to give them, you know, perceived value.
And longevity.
And longevity.
That goes back to even eco-consciousness. You're circulating these things less. So, you know, the classic pieces, the classic modern furniture and design details that kind of always look good, and you can just change up with accessorization or, you know, some paint, some wallpaper, some throw pillows.
I'm like, if you're gonna go trendy, go with pillows or a throw or an accessory, you know, to give you that like little, you know, thing that you,
freshness, maybe.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Mhm.
But we definitely believe in like timeless. One of the clients, we're in their 11th project, we had done their home, I think 15 years ago. You go in it and it looks like we did it yesterday. And I think that is so important that's, I think, our signature thing.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Longevity of a project. I always say this, good design is timeless.
Yes.
And you know, I think I know who you're talking about because I think I spoke to them. And that's actually exactly what they said. They're like, you know, we've done so many projects with them, no matter what city they're located in. And, you know, it just no matter how long ago it was, it still feels fresh. And I think that's so important. Like you said, we are stewards of our clients' budgets, no matter how big or small the budget is. You know, we do have that responsibility of making sure that our clients feel like we're really looking out for them and for their wallet. You know, nobody finds random bags of money. Yeah, I mean, I haven't found them, so. So, you know, really taking that on and being very careful about where every penny goes, I think, you know, to achieve what the client wants, I think is really important. So that's wonderful to hear, because I have in this industry heard other things, and it's kind of scary.
Well, I think it's also, yeah, it's also experience, you know. I've been doing this, over 20 years. Brett's been doing this over 30 years. And then also living through and having clients that have been with Brett since the beginning, or with me through the beginning. I think we have a sense of responsibility. And since, remember, these people become practically family to us, we're very cautious of how we spend their money, and being very cautious to make sure that it transitions well into the next phase of their lives as well, you know? So all that takes a lot of responsibility. And also the big thing is that Brett and I design every project together. So that, which is very different from a lot of partners. A lot of partners, sometimes they do projects separately. We feel that we're stronger when we design together and also give that male and female perspective. So we bring that to the table. So they get a 2-for-1.
I love that. I love that. And sorry, tell us more about the dynamic as far as like the project. Do you both of you design every part of it, or do you guys like divvy up responsibilities, or like how do you guys work through a project?
A little bit, but our process, I usually handle more of the, you know, architectural background stuff and space planning and our lighting design and millwork design and whatnot. Giselle will, you know, usually start off with, you know, the inspiration, kind of like the spirit of the project, and we'll talk about it, and then we'll, you know, look at things together. And then she, you know, is primarily involved in materials and finishes and furniture and art and accessories. And
we always meet the client first together, because there's things that Brett picks up, there's things that I pick up. I'm a very intuitive designer. And as I'm getting older too, the more you realize, you pick up on the nuances that people don't say. So for us, it's really important to do all the programming meetings together. So we're able to pick up on all those things. And then I'll be like, remember that thing that we saw in Paris? I'm like, oh, wouldn't that be cool? Or that thing we saw on Instagram or Pinterest or whatever. And I'm spoiled, because then I'm like, make it work, you know? And he's so technical, you know, and that's not my strength. So he's like, you know, every quarter inch and, you know, very architectural. So I'm like, make it happen. And he'll show me. And I'm like, no, that's not right. I'm like, he's like, well, you can't do that. You want it. I'm like, yes, you can. I'm like, make it happen. It's kind of funny, but you know, it works for us. And we have an awesome team of people that work with us as well. So we have a lot of support.
But we're constantly checking with each other,
Yeah.
you know, at every stage. So it really is, they're all truly collaborations, but we have our little fields of specialty and focus.
And I'm crazy about outlets, like not seeing the outlets, right? So he's always fighting me about, but it's okay. It's okay. Like in our powder room, we left an outlet in the powder room. And when I was supervising the job,
I mean, it's code, but
whatever.
Make it work, Brett. Make it work.
It's the powder room. I'm like, those to me are like pimples in a wall. I'm like, so I had the contractor. I'm like, get rid of that. get rid of that, you know. And then in our kitchen too, you know, I'm like, I don't want to see the outlets. And we came up, we'll show you those secrets about how we resolve those things. But my thing is, to him, it's not a big deal. To me, outlets, I think, are horrible. So for
Unless
me,
you don't
visual
have
noise.
one when you need it to charge.
Like today, setting up for
like
the
right
meeting.
now.
Listen, I'm
You
all
don't
about
need one until you need one. I'm kidding.
I'm all about making it work, but there's so many cool you know, outlets now that are
Yes.
the same finish as
Like
the
True Fit
marble,
or,
you know, there's so many ways
Or
to
the pop-up
resolve
ones,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's so much ways to resolve it. To me, it's visual noise. And again, since we're purists, we want to have it like, I want your eye to go to that focal point, that beautiful marble, or that thing we want you to gravitate. I don't want to see a little bloop, you know?
I totally get that. I discovered, well, you know, we can get technical later, but they're like acrylic faceplates to switches and to whoever invented that, genius.
Yeah.
So, well, thank you guys so much for sharing all of that. What, so besides your condo, what bespoke or custom items are you currently working on? And what does the future hold for B&G Design? Let's tell us a little bit more about that and maybe your office.
Well, every project that we do, we design a lot of custom furniture. You know, we love to make use of the best furniture lines out there that are made, but we're always running into situations where, well, we like that, but it doesn't sit the way we want it to sit, or it doesn't come in the dimension that we need it to be to fit our particular space. So that's kind of forced us over the years to develop a lot of our own custom pieces that we actually put into our own furniture line that we've partnered with a manufacturer on. But really we don't do a lot of repeat. You know, we're always trying to do something, you know, take it to the next level, or, you know, our look is our look, but we always want to do it a different way and shape that around our client's lifestyle, the particular project and the particular circumstances.
We love doing custom pieces. I think it gives us a chance to create. Okay, so most of our clients are referrals, and they could be friends of a friend of a friend. So we want to make sure that, you know, none of their homes look the same, and that it really has a unique signature of who they are, and also push the limits of what we can do, because there's, you know, by the time something gets implemented, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 4 years if you're starting, you know, construction from the very beginning. So we're always trying to push the limits. And since, again, we love to travel so much, we're always being inspired by, you know, by new spaces, by our travels, by these awesome designers out there. Thank God for social media, because now, you know, I'm in love with French designers right now. That's my love affair right now. I'm like all about.
They're really hot. They're really hot.
They're really hot. Some of them are cute too.
I don't mean that.
I'm gonna have to get on. So I'm like a little bit off of social media right now, but now I'm gonna have to look for some French designers.
I'm gonna send them to you. I'll send them.
Do.
Yeah. I'm totally in love, and we just found out that the
Salon is back on. So.
And we were planning to go.
Milan show, the East Salon is back on for early September. So we had planned to go, and then we were going to cancel, and then.
But we were going to go to Paris first, so we could go see some of those French designers, because it's also my birthday as well. So yeah, do a twofer, you know.
Yeah, celebrate all month long.
So we're planning to, now, thank God our plans are back on, and we're planning to go to some of these showrooms and visit some of these designers, and then go to the Milan show. And that inspires her so much as well. I mean, I go nuts. Brett goes nuts. We all go nuts over the show. It's like, it's a little bit of sensory overload, but it's complete stimulation creatively. I'm like, I come back so energized to do something really cool and different for our clients.
I love that. Well, we'll have to have you guys back to give us a recap of the show later on in the year. I love that. And so what is the future for B&G Design? Tell us about your new office. When will it be finished? When can we visit you?
Yes.
Well, our new office is on 39th and Biscayne, just just outside the entrance to the design district. So we're really conveniently located both to where we live and to all the showrooms that we shop at frequently. And we're just waiting for permits right now to be able to start construction. So we're still a few months away. It's not a big build out, but still a few months away. And, we're really in the process talking about the future. And this goes back to the IGTV, YouTube show, is we're really trying to develop B&G into a complete, not being just interior design, and not just furnishings and other things. I mean, I'm very involved in producing my own music. Giselle is really involved in all the marketing and branding, and we're kind of trying to combine everything into,
I lost you guys there for the last second.
I said we're trying to develop everything into like a worldwide powerhouse, something
I
that
love that.
Outlive just us and something that we can leave for our kids.
Most important, it's about sharing what we've learned and the things that from being a couple, having our own identity as people, I think is really important. And Brett having his own music and producing, to me, that's hot. That's sexy. When people ask how to keep the love alive, I think continuing to grow as individuals is sexy to me. Whether it's me with my thing, I see him looking at me in admiration because he's always seeing how much I push the limits of what I'm capable of doing and what I see for B&G and for us as a couple. And he's doing the same, but it takes two people having a lot of confidence in their relationship and really having a very selfless love for each other to really push each other to do something that's not together, because his music is his music. I have nothing to do with it. And that's something that he's creating on his own. And I think that's so fabulous. And what I'm doing is as individuals. So it's the first time that we're doing things separately, but I think it's so good for our relationship. And I would highly advise it to any couple. You want to keep the love alive, be strong individuals, never stop working on yourself. And that's part of what we want to share, is how we're doing it and our journey and our process. We've definitely gone through our challenges through all the years that we've worked and lived together. And we're at this place where, where you can breathe and sigh, kind of like a sense of like peace, feeling established, really feeling like all the work that we've put into our business, our craft, the network of people we have that we surround ourselves. It's like, it feels so right, which is so crazy because this is like when the world has fallen apart. And in the midst of us falling apart, we've built ourselves stronger than ever. And we want to share how we did that. I think that's what I've always been about. I've always been one of those people that I'm a very caring, loving person, and I want the people around me to be the best versions that they can be. And if I can help in any way possible, and if Brett can as well, that's our goal.
I love that. What amazing advice. I can feel the love and the passion through the screen for both of you, and then for what you do as well. So I'm really excited to be able to bear witness to all of that and the future of B&G, and so much success for you guys. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. And when our condo is done, we'll definitely have you over, and I'll do some of that Latin cooking for you. So
oh my God, I love it.
Pictures only say so much, and even video, but having that experience it's so different.
Yeah, like walking through someone's vision. I feel like I live for the 30 seconds of someone walking into their home, for the very first time. Like those 30 seconds will fuel me through the next 2 years of the next project,
Yeah.
And so to be able to do it for yourself and to be able to live in an amazing project that you've created for yourself, with other people get to have those 30 seconds every time they walk into your house, I think is really amazing.
Yeah.
So I can't wait to experience it.
Can't wait to have you as our guest.
Absolutely. And so how can viewers get in touch with you guys through social media and otherwise?
So we're on Instagram on BNG Design.
It's spelled out BANDG Design. Yeah.
And we're also on Facebook, we're on YouTube. If somebody wants to reach us, they can reach us at info@bndgdesign.com. And come join us through our journey. I mean, it's an exciting time for us.
I love it. So we are a little bit tight on time, and I think we have a question from one of our viewers, Melanie Warner. Hi, it's Melanie from Axiom Fine Art and Consulting. When organizing a budget for a new project, do you incorporate an amount for art acquisition, or is it kept separate after the fact?
No, we typically, based on the client profile, we typically hold a budget aside for artwork, because, you know, sooner or later they're going to have to buy it, and a home or any space really is incomplete without art and accessories. So we always make a provision for that. But some of our clients have us purchase, you know, through us, and some of our clients are collectors and don't really need or want our input, even though we want to give it to them.
I hear you. And sometimes we have to deal with, like you said, like already existing collections.
Right.
How do you work with that?
Well, we try to be as sensitive as possible, getting an understanding of, you know, how important, I mean, for us, art is so important. And like Giselle mentioned earlier, a lot of the art that we have is art that I inherited from my mother, who was a collector. And so there's additional sentimental value attached to those pieces. So, you know, we don't always like what our clients bring along with them, but we try to be very sensitive to that. A lot of time, just reframing the art will really give it a fresh new look, you know, and clean it up and make it, you know, feel new. And a lot of times, you know, the bathroom needs art too. Honestly.
So,
Everything.
No, the reality is, in our programming meeting, we ask, you know, what pieces are important, and we will design around those pieces, because, you know, that focal point, if you have this bright color piece of art, you don't want to clash it with the fabrics or the finishes. So we usually, in that case, we'll keep a neutral palette and really let the piece of art stand, you know, be the focal point where it should be. So we are definitely very sensitive to that.
I love that. I love that. So thank you guys. We are out of time. So thank you guys so much for all of your insight, all of your wisdom. And thank you everybody for tuning in. You can connect with us, DCOTA at DCOTA.com. You can connect with me personally on any social media platform at AnelDeCastro.com. Or you can reach out to any of the showrooms as well through the DCOTA website. Thank you so much to David Sutherland, where I'm sitting in right now. Thank you so much for Cresttown, where you guys are tuning in from. And it was just so much fun. Thank you to our viewers, and please join us the next time for Creative Lens Digital.
Thank you.